Now that we've done the first part of our website, we've created one pages like that one. So what we'll do is actually we will create a second page that will be linked to the first one, of course, here. So we'll create a second page. We'll create a second page and we'll learn how to do those hover stuff, like when you roll over menu element, it kind of change the color. And we'll also create a grid here if times allow. And we'll create a grid that is responsive with a if you jump over to a phone, the grid that is responsive. We may have to do another tutorial for the grid, but stick with me. At least we will do this second page and the start of the third page together in this tutorial. So what I have right now is I have my first pages. So I will look at my text here. So I need to create another page with some first title and second title. So I'll go here and I'll go save as. The best way to do, because you don't want to end up like always doing the same thing over and over. So you just save as and everything will stick as it is, but you just like customize this pages the way you want it. So I'll go and I have to name it exactly as I name it in my nav, because otherwise it won't be linked. This is how pages are linked. Like my indexy is right here. So my BO being saved, then it is linked to my index. Now I just have to put everything that's in my specific to that pages. So for instance, I have a second page on my pages, which say biography. So that will be a H2. It's important where I place it, okay? Because it means for the browser, for the search engine, it means that this pages, like the whole pages, is about the biography, not just this paragraph or this paragraph, because it's in a H2. Near to our H1 and it's in the header. This is what we meant by semantic HTML. Then in the main page, now I will start. This will not be a H2 because semantically, I'm in the chapters. So like this will be the first title of the page, second title of the page, and this is the title of this paragraph here. So childhood and education, let's say for H3 here. And now I can take my first paragraph and replace this paragraph or create a new paragraph here. And then my other paragraph, let's say, and just replace that one here. I'll do the same. I'll just copy and paste that here. Say I have another one here. And I have another one here, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, no. Dim, bam. And there's another paragraph. Dang. Okay. I need also to place another image because this is not a home page anymore. It's another asset, so it was my page BO. So let's say I'm gonna place this new image. So if I save that, now my page here, looking at my first page, my index that I created. So, you know, if I click on the link, but then my second page, this worked now because I created my second pages. This one's not working yet because I haven't done it yet. Look at my, I'll just see what I want regarding that. So what I want for my BO pages, I would like my title, my title here to be gray and my other title to be gray also. So I'll just go in my CSS. So my H2 is there. Try to, like, doesn't really matter, it's just good practice, but try to place your H like one after another. It just look better, easier to process. And I mean, oftentimes you're not alone working on your files. And then the color, I wanted something gray. I could always like type gray or I can go with hashtag and go with my quantities of red, quantities of red, quantities of blue, red, green, blue. And if they are all look alike, I can just have 3 numbers first, you know, 999999. It's the same of 999, which means like 99% red, 99% green, 99% blue. That makes gray, basically. Now that we've done the first part of our website, so for the second page is the same thing of this page. I mean, just save as and fill with the other information that is different from the first one. So I'll spare you this one. Let's jump ahead and goes to the grid, because that's the that's where you might have some interrogation, or that you don't know if you're listening to this how to do it. So yeah, as I was saying, I have my second page that is created. How is good. You can tweak that, like this word margin top, have it closer to this, change the color, the leading, the space between the line by and the space between the paragraph with margin top, margin bottom. So now we're gonna put the grid here, because what we want is we want to have a grid like that with all of the book. I create a division simply like that. I go in div class, name it, I'll name that book. And remember, as we've seen in another tutorial, that division is a non-semantic tag in HTML. So if I go in my CSS and I want to create a category for that, I'll go and I have to place a dot in front of that. So yes, and then my curly brackets in this. Let me, it's a bit higher than the footer, so if I want to be consequent with what I say here. And my book, okay, well, what is this division? Well, this division is, it's a grid, so I'm going to say display as such, just display as grid. And then just by saying that, it makes a grid. And then I have to say, well, okay, there's a grid, but how many columns? So it's grid template column. And then let's say there's many more to be said about that, but let me say I have 3 columns. Well, if I go auto, it places 3 columns on my grid. And then automatically, whenever I put something here, any block, anything, it will occupy just 1 cell of the first column. Then the second block will go second cell, and then so on and so forth. So yeah, so now it's a spatial block, because it's like a it's a book and a title in the bottom right here. I'm not finished yet, but let's say I'm here. It's like, yeah, and the caption here, it applied to the figures. It's like a fig caption, and both of them go together. So it's a particular element, a semantic element this time. So I'll go in, I'll go figure, because figure, it's made for that, because so often in web you need to see images with a description on the bottom. So this element is so convenient. You just go image source, assets, and okay, so let's say this is my first pages, my first image. And then the caption, well, as I said, it's a fig caption, because it's a caption that it's applying to a figure. And then in between both of them, the emperor of gladness, I think this is the title. So then yeah, and then I do it for all of my other. Let me just copy and paste, because this is going to be long otherwise. Here, and boom. So what you see now is that in my page, okay, I have all the book and all their title in the bottom, just automatically taking 3 cells, first column, second column, third column, then, you know, the fourth one will go next page, same page, next page. The images are too big, so because they will be represented 100% of their pixel. So I'll go just book, find the images that are in the book, right, and make their width 100% of the cell. So like, yeah, boom, here, if I refresh, just so you know, let me inspect that, just so you understand well those proportion and stuff. Okay, so my book here, the parent of the book is the main. Okay, the parent of the main is the wrapper. The wrapper occupies 60% of the space. So then the header, I said nothing, said take 100% of the 60% of the wrapper, and same thing for the main. So then when it comes up to the figure, well, I had to say to the figure, to the images in it, well, you image, take 100% of that cell, because otherwise it take all of their pixel, and then it's too much. And so then this is the figure in the grid, and then there is a gap in between them that we could make bigger or smaller by the same gap. And you can tweak all sorts of things with grid, which is what makes them a great element. So in the next tutorial, we're gonna take the same layout and we're gonna make that responsive, so that when I squeeze it, well, yeah, my column changed the amount of columns in it. My grid changed the amount of columns in it. My menu go on top online, and whatever we want with media queries regarding adaptive layout. So this one will follow.